Hi, what's up, everybody at Drumeo.com? Matt Gretter here from San Bruno, California. I am here in the All Roads rehearsal studio today because I thought I would film a little instruction video for you on how to write phrase charts. These are charts that outline a general format of a new song that you might want to play or a song that your band might be writing. And this is a tool that I learned from my favorite drummer, Rich Redmond, who plays with country music superstar Jason Aldean, when I went to one of his clinics a couple months back. Uh, as I mentioned just now, phrase charts are, they may seem a little confusing when you see them for the first time, but what it really is just a general outline of the song that either your band is writing or a cover song that you want to learn how to play. And it's just basic notation and general song format that I'm going to show you how to write. For this example, my singer for my band All Roads, he has sent me a demo track of a new song that he had an idea for us to play, and he emailed it to me, and I have it here in my Windows player right here, and I'm going to show you, well actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out the phrase chart on this piece of paper in real time as the song is playing, and then once it's all done I will come back to you and I will review to you what I wrote and what certain notations mean, and hopefully show you how this can help you learn new songs that you want to play, or new songs that that in your musical situation you're trying to learn how to play, trying to write new songs, and this will help you. Hopefully, at least this is what it did for me, was learn the song faster, and also know where certain parts are, where to change colors on the drums, and give more flavor and better dynamics to the song. Okay, so I have the song ready to play here, and I'm going to write the chart out in real time right here. And when I'm done writing, I will come back to you and I will review what the phrase chart is and what the notations are and everything of that sort. Okay, let's take a listen. This is the general layout of what a phrase chart would look like. What I do is I'll write the band name up at the top here, then the song title, and write down that, hey, this is the phrase chart for that song. And so let's go over it. When I first heard the song play, I heard all the instruments of the band except the singer. So what I did was I wrote down the characteristic beat for the song in the intro section right here, which is do da do da do da do da. So that's the characteristic beat of this song, and I don't know if you can read this legibly, but right here you'll see CHH, and that means closed hi-hat. And it was playing eighth notes. So I know, okay, closed hi-hat playing eighth notes, where playing the general beat do da do da do da do da through that part there. And this is the intro, and this right here is an 8, which represents, okay, this right here is an 8-bar phrase. So play this 8 times, and then we're going to move over into the next phrase, which this is another part of the intro, but the only difference is the guitars changed, and instead of playing a closed hi-hat, you'll see that I wrote the word ride, which means ride cymbal. And I wrote the same beat as this 8-bar phrase because that carries through pretty much almost through the entire song. Just the only difference is it's either maybe hi-hat, ride cymbal, or crash cymbal, open hi-hat, closed hi-hat. And so that's really the only differences throughout most of the phrases. So I got a ride cymbal going up here for another 8-bar phrase. So 8-bar phrase here, then it carries over into here on the downbeat 1, and we're going to play the ride cymbal and play this beat for another 8 bars. And then once that was over, I heard that the song pretty much reverted back to this phrase right here, sounding exactly the same with a closed hi-hat as you see here, and it's for the same amount of bars, for 8 bars. And I could have just said, okay, repeat the first 8-bar phrase of the intro, but for instructional purposes I wanted to show you how I would personally go about writing it, which would be this way. And then after this 8-bar phrase, we get to here, which is labeled V1 at the top, which stands for verse. This is V for verse, and the number is what number verse you're in. So V1, okay, this is the first verse of the song. And I actually forgot to write what instrument I'm going to be playing with my right hand, so let me write that in really quick. I'm going to write C-H-H right there. I don't know if you can see that, but that's going to be for the closed hi-hat right there. And same beat pretty much, do-da, 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 do-da. And this carries on for 16 bars, this first verse. And then I got nothing written down here because what I was going to write, it could have possibly fit there, but I wasn't thinking at the time. So we're going to jump down here to pre-C, which stands for pre-chorus. And there's two differences. One, instead of the 16 bars that the verse was for, we're only playing this for 8 bars. And instead of a closed hi-hat, you'll see I wrote OHH, which stands for open hi-hat. And playing exactly the same beat through the entire song, do-da, 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 do-da. And yeah, like I said, for open hi-hat, for 8 bars, and then we head over to this section, which is C1, chorus number 1. And so I go to a ride cymbal and playing this beat all the way through. And just because I write the kick and snare pattern here doesn't necessarily mean that I have to stick to that. For example, I may not have written it down, but I could use my left foot on the hi-hat while playing the ride cymbal to keep time, and also that gives a different flavor or color to the chorus or any section that you want to put it in. So a little more dynamics, a little bit more energy to go there. So you can play the left foot hi-hat here if you want to, even though you don't have to write that down. But to save a little bit of time and keep up with the song, I didn't write the foot in. But I didn't hear the left foot hi-hat play in the chorus section, but I could possibly add it in if I want to. And so in the chorus, this section right here, it goes for a 12-bar phrase, but then right after that, there's a 2-bar phrase, which I guess you could call it like an echo of the 12th bar here. It carries out for another 2 bars, and this is part of the chorus too. But this is but that I consider that an echo, so I don't necessarily have to write the section in. As long as you know that, okay, this part of the song, is this phrase is part of this chorus, then you don't have to label every single phrase that you're in, or label every single phrase that you write. Because the more you write, it could also lead to confusion, and you want to keep it as simple as possible, or write it in a way that you can understand and be able to execute, because that's the most important thing. And so after this 2-bar echo, we come to here, which is a pre-verse. Still playing the right cymbal, but for 8 bars only, and same beat, do da do da do da do da, for 8 bars, and then we come over here to V2. And since it's played exactly the same as verse 1, which is up here, I didn't feel that it was necessary to write the entire beat out, so I just wrote down repeat V1 because it's played exactly the same as the first verse. So if it's played, this might save you a little bit of time when you're writing out these phrase charts, instead of writing out the beat, every single phrase that's in the song. If you know that there's a phrase that's played exactly the same as another, you could write down repeat and the phrase that you want to repeat there. So saves you a little bit of time and a little less. And it's a little easier to remember the beat. Okay, repeat V1. This is the beat I'm playing, just down here. Kind of makes sense? So after the second verse, we jump down here to pre-C2, which is the second pre-chorus of the song, and it's played exactly the same as the first pre-chorus, right there. So just like V2, I didn't write out the whole beat. Just say, hey, repeat the first pre-chorus for 8 bars, right there. Then jump over right here. This is the second chorus, and repeat chorus number 1, right up there. And repeat for the same 12 bars, and then jump over here one more time. Repeat the 2-bar phrase right up there. This exact phrase right here, repeat down right there. So writing out these repeats, like I mentioned earlier, it's for me personally, it's a little easier to say that, hey, if there's a section out there that's going to be played exactly the same as a previous phrase, then I would write down repeat so-and-so phrase and write down how many bars I'm going to be repeating it for. That saves me a little bit of time, and also it's a little easier to remember for me. But that's just personal preference. You can write these out however you want to, but this is how I personally would go about it, and it seems to be working for me. Okay, and what's this here? What is this giant B for? Well, that B stands for bridge. And what I wrote down is that I heard an open hi-hat, so I wrote down the OHH for open hi-hat. And I wrote down, even though it is the same beat as the sections like here, the pre-chorus, the open hi-hat, and the bridge has an open hi-hat, I wrote down the B for it because it's like, okay, this is a section of a song that hasn't been played before, so that would remind me, okay, this is the first time I'm playing this section, and it may be the same general beat as the other phrases, but because it's a phrase that I haven't played yet in this song, then I wrote down the beat
the characteristic of the hi-hat and the title of that phrase, which is the bridge there. So that, yeah, so just because I hadn't played this section before, that's why I wrote everything out there. And so this part of the bridge is a 14 bar phrase, and then kind of like the chorus and the echo there, the 2 bar echo, we have, well, I would call this anything more than 2 bars for me personally. I would call like I guess you could call it like a carry-on, so to speak, because an echo is relatively short period of time, whereas a carry-on, it's a little bit more, in my personal opinion, that's what I call it. That over 2 bars, it lasts a lot longer, so I would call that a carry-on. But anyway, after the 14 bar phrase of the first part of the bridge, we have a 4 bar carry-on, still open hi-hat, same beat and everything, and yeah, so this, I'm at a loss for words now. So yeah, the 14 bar phrase here, carrying out into a 4 bar carry on at the end of the bridge. Repeat this 4 times, and then we kind of start to get into the third chorus, but this right here, it seems a little complicated, but this is what I would call a BD, or breakdown. I'll write the letters in right there. BD stands for breakdown, and this was the part of the song where everything was broken up and follows these notes. Da da ba on the downbeat 1 and this is on, and this final 8th note here is on the and of 4. So 1 and 2 3 4 and this part right here, this symbolizes to me that this final note here carried out, like rang out, the guitars and the cymbals rang out for a full bar. So this is worth 1 bar, and this is 1 bar. I'll write that in. 1 bar there, and 1 bar there. And so it's like da da ba ba, and these 2 dots right here next to the line dividing the phrases, those 2 dots mean repeat. And so I wrote this down to repeat. Okay, I'm going to repeat, and I wrote the same 2 dots over here saying, alright, so starting from here, I'm going to play this, let it ring out, and then on the downbeat, come back here, repeat this 1 more time, let it ring out, and then we get into the third and final chorus, which the ride cymbal and the same characteristic beat. Put the tail end on that note there, because that's an 8th note, not a quarter note. And so yeah, we have an 8 bar phrase on the third chorus right there, the same beat, do da do da do da do da. Then after that 8 bar phrase, then we have a 2 bar echo right there, ride cymbal, but I didn't write that in because I knew that it was going to be played exactly the same as the first part of the third chorus right there, so I didn't write the ride cymbal. So after that 2 bar carry out, even though that there is vocals and it's repeating the chorus lines, I wrote outro or out right there, which symbolizes to me, okay, after this particular section of the song, it's going to end. And so I wrote the ride cymbal in the same beat, do da do da do da do da, and for 8 bars, and then we actually have a 4 bar carry on right here with I wrote the ride cymbal there, and this is the final carry out phrase of the song, and then we finally get down to this, which this here is the final note, and these squiggly lines, just like this section up here, meaning sustain, or the note rings out. Play the crash cymbal and the kick drum right here. Everything rings out till where I finally wrote the end right here and the word cut, meaning the end of the song, and that is that. Now it's time to get behind the drums and play this song for real for the first time. Let's go do it. Come on.
Hey guys, what's up? We're behind the drums now. I have heard the song once. I have written out the phrase chart, which I had explained on the previous video segment. I'm going to put it down on my music stand right here. And now it is time to execute the song. Now, when writing out these phrase charts for the first time, I highly recommend that you practice on your favorite cover songs, for example, just so you can get the hang of it down and get the writing process, the writing process down a little bit before going into original music. Because original music in a band situation or in the studio situation, you're going to be expected to get it really fast. Write out a chart, record the drums for the first time, and you got to get it. So I would recommend starting out on practice songs, then moving into original music. And actually, this song was sent to me 10 minutes before I started filming this lesson. So, and we're going to start rehearsing it tomorrow. So I had to learn this song really quickly, and this phrase chart really helped me out big time. So phrase charts can help you, and I hope this video was very instructional and helpful to you in writing out phrase charts. So song is on the iPod now, phrase chart's ready to go, and now it's time to play. Phrase charts will help you out in the long run. It's an important skill to learn. See you in the next video, guys.